Greetings all. This is Reggie Middleton. It's 5:41 p.m. with nobody appearing. There we go. Okay, 5:41 p.m. Saturday, working late night. I just got off the second part of a proposal to a county. I didn't name this county. Hello, Chris and AM. Good to see you. I'm glad everybody's coming in Saturday. You know, a project that we are developing for, pardon me, second part of the project that we're developing for a county in East Africa. We are using Veritasium technology to create and fund an agribusiness project using advanced technology. Multiple drones, transport drones, surveillance drones, fertilizer and seeding drones, and to increase the yield on crops. This part of Africa actually has agriculture, agribusiness as its #1 economic driver and its #1 export. Those crops that we are using our technology to fund and to expand will then be veritized. The output will be veritized, and we will create essentially COMEX or CME style commodities infrastructure based upon very sub-tokens for those farmers. So it's very exciting, and we're looking to start immediately. So I told the governor of this particular government, town, county, I'm sorry, that I'm looking to get started next week on this. So we'll see if he agrees. It's definitely a good deal. We're basically, again, making Wakandaizing that area of Africa, and we're looking to connect several portions. So basically, those veritized crops will be available in Nairobi, South Africa, Uganda, Nigeria, and depending on regulations across the U.S. I understand this is Saturday evening, so there's not a whole lot of people, but the people who are here, please hit the like button, hit the share button, let everybody else know that we're online, and I'm here to ask questions. Answer questions. In addition, what we could do is I could tell you what's going on. Monday, we have the big consensus conference in New York. It's thrown and sponsored by CoinDesk and the CoinDesk family of companies. And we have rented out the big presidential suite in the hotel. So we have a lot of space, good, I think it's 1,800 square feet. And we will be basically engaging with all Veritasium stakeholders, those who are interested in Veritasium product and services. Anybody wants to talk. I'll have the VeADIR running, so you get to use it hands-on. We'll have plenty of capital in terms of F and Veri for everybody to go in and out. And I'll have some printed versions of the research, copies and paper. This is, again, the best available in the industry. Okay, and we'll also have links where you can get it electronically. Okay, hello Miko, hello Reggie from Finland, appreciate it. Randis McMurphy, thank you. I'm looking for everybody to come join us, of course, Monday. Because you do not have to have a ticket for the consensus conference to come and join us and speak to us. Of course, those with tickets, feel free to come and join as well. But whether you pay for consensus or not, we're still open to talk to Veritasium and the Veri team. Okay? Now, the suite is locked up, man, 24 hours a day, of course. So what I need for you to do is go to the Eventbrite link and register, which of course I didn't put in this AMA. So I can tell you right now, go to the Veritasium website, click the menu button upper right hand corner, click VE blog, and there's an article there, and there's a link for the Eventbrite to register for the to come see us. And or you can simply email Eleanor.reid, that's eleanor.reid, that's R-E-I-D, at veritasium.com. Send an email to her, make an appointment. Okay? Everybody can come, one and all. This is definitely inclusionary, not exclusionary. Looking to get a Veritasium business card. How can I get one? For those who want the Veritasium metallic tokens, those big gold tokens, feel free to email Eleanor. Again, eleanor.reid. Okay, I'll look it up, show everybody what we're talking about. So we have plenty of knickknacks. Okay, and of course this stuff will be available at the conference as well. I'll have plenty of them. Check these out. The Veritasium socks. See if you can see it there. Veritasium socks, VE socks. I'll tell you what, anybody who understands our concept well, okay, and is able to give us good ideas, strong ideas, any strong leads, feel free to come pick up some socks for yourself, okay? And this is the very token, okay, 24 karat gold for our strong followers, okay, brass alloy for everybody else with a little platinum and nickel. So, questions. Like I said, I just sent off the proposal for the African deal. Interesting. I can't guarantee that they'll be willing to get started next week, but you know, they should be very, very excited. I'm gonna ask you to hold for one more second. This is what happens when you do a video when you're working. But I'm gonna go and grab something else I was working on. So, another thing I'm going to get to today, which I didn't have the opportunity to get to before I did this video, so I may be doing this. Mainframe says a lot of talk about prospective deals for the past year, but absolutely no takers. He says he has a doubt. Well, Mainframe, exactly how do you know who's taking our deals or who hasn't? You know, that type of negative energy is highly unproductive, and it's also not very informative or accurate. You know, I don't think he knows who we've done deals with and who we haven't. The only deal that we've announced that didn't go through completely was the Jamaica Stock Exchange deal. And I made it very clear what it was about. I announced the MOU, which was signed, and you know, it hasn't went through yet, so it could have fallen through. I made it very clear that might happen. Someone asked about bonds now. John Doe says, when bonds? Well, Mr. Doe, so we're going to pull out the corner, if you could read that. That's an Ethiopian bond looking to be veritized, or in African parlance, dematerialized. And that's what we'll be working on for the balance of the weekend. We'll take a break after this. We're working on a lot. So, unlike many CEOs of small startups, I do communicate often with my constituency and stakeholders. I'm very open to speaking in public, and I want to discuss this this flood nonsense. For instance, this allegation that many deals announced and don't fall through. You know, compare our progress in terms of product, the existence of a product, availability, its stage, whether it's actually, you know, concept, MVP, alpha, beta. You know, the VeADIR is now a release candidate, which means it's ready to go. The only thing that's preventing it is clarity in U.S. regulations, which is why we're going to more regulatory-friendly areas, and we're working hard there. You know, I've been in 3 different continents, 5, 6 different countries in the last month and a half. Okay, so please be easy on the flood and nonsense. You know, instead of attempting to say, you know, this startup, which has been in existence for 1 year, has created a brand new product and created the industry surrounding that product, okay, and filed for patent application protection before everybody else, is not performing. Compare it to everybody else in the industry and see how far we've gone relative to everybody else, okay? So the best way to kill flood is performance, real performing. Okay, but you know, everybody's a human being, and you know, I have employees, and you know, they're tired of that nonsense. So enough of that. Now, regard of the dematerialized bonds, we will veritize these bonds, okay, and we will make them available as various sub tokens, and I will send them as a proof of concept to the owners of the original bonds in Ethiopia. Okay, I plan to do this on a very, very large scale after you do the proof of concept, and we're working with a local owner of an exchange there. The another additional proof of concept we're doing is hopefully by Monday morning I will have the gold veritized. Okay, so those gold tokens will again be distributed. These will be distributed locally within the states. Okay, and I plan to study how they're used, traded, valued. It should be very interesting because these have direct redemption ability, and with intelligent market players, that means that you should have a narrow price band. So if you have this wild volatility like many ERC20 tokens that fall 80%, 30%, 20%, 10% or rise in the same fashion, you will have prudent market spectators and speculators such as myself who will come and right the wrongs because of significant significant profit potential. So we have a kilogram of gold. We have a kilogram of gold VeRi token. Okay, a kilogram of gold is about $45,000-ish. Okay, for a kilogram. Okay, that token floats, and then somebody decides to try and tank the price and brings it down to $500 or $1,000. These tokens are able to be redeemed. So what would someone do, such as myself? Buy every single kilogram gold VeRi token possible, bring them back to the redemption window, and I'm buying kilograms of gold for $1,000 because some not that bright person, I don't want to say idiot, but for whatever reason they choose to disrupt the price, sells these significantly below market value. So you see this arbitrage, this ability to take advantage of actual fundamental valuation relative to price fluctuations through, a blockchain transfer and exchange. We'll keep these tokens within a narrow band, or we'll bring in speculators, both small and big boys, to come in and right the wrong through arbitrage. This is how you keep prices in check, through natural economic forces, or greed, as you can say. So went through gold, went through the Ethiopian bond, veritization, dematerialization. Just explained, just sent off the deal for the agribusiness and the commodities for the East African farmers. And I have a couple of hopefully potential exchange deals coming down the pipe, but not all of them have signed the final letter as of yet, so we won't discuss that. PPP is most definitely an excellent pick right now. Okay, well, I hope you took advantage of, and that was from Martin Heinrich, and I hope you took advantage of the research report. In doing the research report, I have to admit I was very, very impressed with PayPal. They're doing their thing. It's a real operation apparently, and it's a real operation that's looking to develop a real product. They have a beta, it's functional, all the bells and whistles are not in, but it seems to work and seems to have a strong value proposition. Can VeRi be used to veritize a local economy or a minority economy? Yes, it can, depending on the circumstances, of course. Nice, circumnavigate, bad seed. Okay, so it looks like I answered most of the questions. We have a few more people on board. Thank you, Zach Pack Rand, for being a good supporter. Paul, Master Plan, thank you. Cosmic Gun Shop. And I don't want everybody to be confused. When you put your heart and soul into a project and then people come with absolute nonsense, disinformation, misinformation, everybody's a human. So I do want to make clear, Veritasium and many other strong projects such as PayPal and Populous have very, very in the Pillar project. Very, very strong representation in the community. A lot of love and support. A lot. And it's greatly appreciated. I can say for a fact, for myself and the VeRi team, is greatly appreciated. And I can't say for a fact for the other companies, but I am quite confident that they are now not only appreciative of their community, but they derive a lot of strength from the support of the community. So with that being said, now there are so many people on board. Again, hit like, hit share, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get the questions going. I know somebody has to have some questions for me, so ask away. Can you talk about how the research is used in VeADIR? Is the research entered manually or automatically? Right now it's manually, but we're finishing up the coding portion to have it automated. As a matter of fact, now I think about it, the automated feeding of the research into the VeADIR, the code has been done, but it hasn't been polished. You know, it went through, how do I put it, happy land testing, where the test was relatively rudimentary and not, you know, it wasn't truly stress tested. So it passed tests, but those tests were best case scenario only, which is not testing. So we have a very rigorous testing structures and rigor, and it has to go through the test again. The person that wrote that particular piece of code has said that they went through the testing procedure the way we did it, the hard knock style, but those test results and procedures have not been reviewed by our head engineer. So from my perspective as a boss, it's not done, but it has been worked at. The code is available and the code has been tested. Reggie, talk more about your vision to unite Africa economically. That was a wicked talk you gave recently. I hope all your visions will materialize over time. Okay, and that's coming from Martin Henrik. Well, if you go to the YouTube channel that we have, just go down to the bottom of the Veritasium site, hit the YouTube icon, and then scroll down. You can see my discussion on uniting Africa economically. Basically, we're going to make the Veritasium platform, and the sub-tokens from it, basically a Pan-African economic token. And that token will be able to trade throughout Africa and the world and unite the African nations, right, and the African counties and subdivisions within those nations to trade with each other and the rest of the world as a single economic bloc. Basically, it would be the EU done correctly. This is happening right now. For instance, these Ethiopian bonds, okay, that would be dematerialized into various subtokens. The gold, that would be veritized. The output from the African farmers that we're discussing, that would be veritized, are all going to trade through one uniform platform, okay, off the Veritasium system. And they will also be made available, I don't know if the exchange would take advantage of it, but they will be made available to every exchange that I've talked to on the African continent. That's a lot of exchanges because, well, in Kenya, we went to and I spoke at a summit which had the upper management of every major and mostly African exchanges on the continent in Africa. So everybody got to hear what they had to say. I sat down with at least 6 or 7 of them personally, and we have plans. So either I or a representative will be going to Nigeria, revisiting Kenya, revisiting South Africa, Uganda, Mauritius, and can't remember all of them, but a decent amount. Okay? Uniting Africa is a material step in terms of geopolitical and socioeconomic power structures. Africa currently has 1.25 billion citizens. Okay? It is by far the largest and most rich natural resource land in the world, by far. And, right, and it puts it in direct competition with the EU, and competition might not be the correct term. It puts it proximal to the EU as a trading bloc, to China, to Japan, and just under the US. Okay, that's significant. Most people don't think of Africa as a powerful economic bloc, but they are, most definitely. And they will be even more powerful with the help of Veritasium. We're also looking to go and open up shop in other jurisdictions. So listen for the presidents and prime ministers of entities of places such as Malta, such as Luxembourg, Switzerland. You know, if you love to have Veritasium set up shop there, please feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me at reggie@veritasium.com. I will fly out immediately. I'll fly out with the intention of doing business and signing, and we'll capitalize the structure and get going like that. I discussed Jamaica already. Mr. T.O. Jet, John Doe Berry is on Enclave's decks. I don't know. I did look at it. The Enclave's decks is actually probably the smoothest decentralized exchange I've ever seen. Though. So if you haven't seen Enclave's decks, please go take a look at it. Very smooth interface. It consolidates liquidity from the other decentralized exchanges, and it has its own order book. Very, very slick. Are there any new members to the team? None that are not on the page outside of the programmers and developers and researchers that weren't on the page to begin with. So outside of those on the team, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8, 9 other researchers and developers. I do have another developer who's coming on board later this month, and I am hiring. So if you're a crack shot blockchain developer, okay, knowing Solidity, know your stuff in Solidity, or if you're a strong software engineer developer, period. As long as you're strong, you don't have to worry about Solidity. You can learn Solidity in a couple of weeks, okay? I'm also looking for salespeople. I'm looking for a general counsel, okay? Very strong legal mind, inventive, creative. Come on board. If you can take risk and understand the difference between risk and reward, and know that I'm more willing to compensate you, come on board. Institutional money hopefully doesn't come until regular people get their tokens. I can't comment on that. If all altcoins are valued in US dollars, what if the US dollar has trouble? Hyperinflation, what would Veritasium do? Or what is the backup plan? Well, it's very unlikely for the reserve currency to undergo hyperinflation. You have to understand those words are being thrown around too lightly. Hyperinflation comes from having a weak economy, okay, and a weak military. The U.S. is not going to suffer from hyperinflation. They may start to move slightly in that direction, and they will take steps to avoid it. Remember, the U.S. has the strongest military, which is what basically creates and defines reserve currency. Forget what you heard in school. The reserve currency always equals the biggest cut. Okay, they also have the largest economy and the most geopolitical influence. So, let's keep the concepts grounded in reality. And I'm not knocking you, by the way, I'm just explaining that the likelihood of that happening is slim. Will VeADIR use NATA to make buy and sell decisions? Absolutely not. The VeADIR is not a trading application. It is a fundamental investment application, okay? And it doesn't do much trading at all. It simply buys and sells to fulfill exposures along the medium and longer term, okay? I am not good at technical analysis. I'm also not much of a believer in it, but it may or may not work. It doesn't really matter to me because that's not my business or expertise. Super Nazi, always good to see you. Thank you. Is this going to be a transfer of wealth? I think any transaction in wealth is a transfer. Exit reports, can't say I fully understand, but I'm self-educating. When you read the reports, open up Wikipedia and Investopedia and the tabs next to it. Just look up what you don't understand. Okay, what is a sub-token? So Veri tokens represent prepaid fees for our products and services. Okay, you can use the Veri sub-token, use the Veri token to enter our products, like the VeADIR, or to pay for our research and other services. The sub-tokens are basically a token, here, a Veritasium token that is used to wrap another asset, commodity, concept, or value. So here we take this token, okay, we create a Veri sub-token, Veri dot something. Let's make it Veri dot T, .TEA. We create 100 bushels of tea represented by one token. Okay, so this Veri.T token, or Veri.T.Kenya, okay, will now be portrayed along the Ethereum blockchain with all of the attributes and advantages that come along with that. And it represents the ability to redeem at a redemption window the token for, the 100 bushels of tea, or 100 pounds, however the tea is measured. It could also be Veri.gold, 4 grams, ounces, kilograms of gold, Veri.real estate, IBM common equity A, et cetera, et cetera. So subtokens are ability to use Veritasium to transfer, trade, and value real world assets, other digital assets, information assets, commodities, etc. Getting Djibouti on board will be great because they're basically the harbor of Ethiopia. Djibouti. Harm, I can't comment, but very observant of you, very observant. Looking through questions, just pardon me. Okay. Hey, Reggie from Sweden. Hey. Love to hear your vision and what you and your team are doing. Is it true we're coming to Sweden? I may. This is Rasta Dahl. I may come to Sweden. I'm looking to be invited at a time that's both convenient and where there's, of course, economic reason for it. But I know a lot of Swedes, so let's define our terms here, gentlemen. Cosmic Comshot says, how will I be able to get the gold from the Veritized gold? No, you would if you had the Veritized gold, and it's not going to be made available to the public again because of regulatory concerns, but I will actually give the gold tokens out to certain individuals, such as Veritasium employees, certain Veritasium contractors, and others. Just basically, this is a socioeconomic behavior exercise. I want to see exactly how the tokens are traded, at what price they're given away at, traded at, exchanged for, etc. But as for how you get the gold, you bring them back to redemption window. For right now, the redemption window would be, Veritasium, okay? And so you return the token Veritasium, identify yourself, okay? And in exchange for that redemption and identification, you will get the gold that is backed by the token. The tokens are backed 100% by gold. 1/10 of I forget what it is, the maple leaf, the small maple leaf. It's the smallest unit, going up to 1 ounce of gold. And then we have the big kilogram gold bars. And then there's a big bar as well, but those are not going to be given out, of course. That's an awful lot of capital. The 1 ounce and 1/10 of an ounce will be given out, which is, and a 1/10 of an ounce are also legal tender gold maple leaves. Okay, so they're actually very easy to transport, even where there's capital controls, because can be considered an actual currency. How is the North American market? I'm not sure what you mean. How is it for what? And that's for Hajj 2010. Hold on, what needs to happen for you to get to Switzerland? I need for somebody in Switzerland to invite me and for it to be a value add. For instance, in the Canton province of Zug, things are really running smoothly, and they want Veritasium as a business there. Talk to me. I'm looking to set up shop outside the U.S. Okay, and I'm looking very aggressively, and I'm looking to do so very, very soon. Those that know me know that I move quickly. When I say soon, the next business day is not unheard of. We produce reports on non-crypto entities. We produce hundreds of reports on non-crypto entities, but for right now, it has to be along the mantra. It has to be along the mantra of what it is that we are doing in terms of business. So, we are primarily crypto and digital assets now. It's unlikely a non-crypto entity will be reported on because it's not in the pipeline, but it's a possibility. Can takeaway when exiting the created economic rent be partial? For example, take only a couple of tokens? No, it cannot. There are buckets. The buckets are empty, created, and destroyed, and whole. What factors do I play or consider in deciding to prioritize the African economy? There's a lot, so I can't answer that now. Basically, Africa has a lot of assets, a lot of commodities, a lot of natural resources, okay? And the continent itself was not benefiting nearly as much as it could have or should from having these natural resources. So it's low-hanging fruit for technology that eliminates middlemen and increases efficiencies. It's also low-hanging fruit for someone such as myself who thinks in terms of a contrarian or outside the box. My skill, my power, my ability is to see things in a way that most others don't. I look basically in the opposite direction of the status quo, but somehow get to see the same things or sometimes even more. Does VeADIR's bucket change into tether or fiat during bear market corrections? No, it doesn't. You know, listen, bear markets and corrections are normal parts of the economic cycle, the investment cycle, and the business cycle. Like the VeADIRs are trying to outrun, you know, corrections at bear markets. That's trading, and you know, trading is very difficult to do successfully over time. As a matter of fact, I invite everybody to go to the Forbes 400 list on the web. Take a look at the top 10 and see how many of those people are invaders. How many of those people are traders. Then expand it to the top 20, the top 50, and the top 100. Then take a look at the whole list. See how many actual traders are on that list. Very, very difficult to make money long-term trading. Not saying it's impossible. Not saying trading is, you know, a crock or anything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm not good at trading, and I have a lot of company. Because there are a lot of people who are not good at it. They may think they're good at it, but take a look at the money that they make compared to what concentrated risk takers make and what business people and entrepreneurs make. Does VeADIR's your PPT reports were fantastic. Thank you, Adam Shalami. Very holder and huge fan. You worked for years. Thank you very much, my friend. John Doe says Veritasium Ritz. Okay. Everybody smash the like button. We have 116 people on a Saturday evening. That's pretty good. Listen, if there are 116 people online and only 53 likes, that means a little more than half of y'all they failed to hit that like button. So it's 116 people. Everybody, hit the like button. Hit it hard, okay? Let me see this. The likes, the thumbs up, match the amount of people online. Also, hit the share button and share. Okay, there we go. 61 to 77. I'm getting some love. Thank you. Now let's go from 77 to 115. Okay. Hey Reggie, do you plan exposure for Latin America? Yes, I do. For right now, I'm only going where I have a connection. I can increase the places I go and increase the amount of the pace of the deals being done if I had more manpower or if I'm invited. Of course, if I'm invited, I go straight there and I try to get the deal done. That's why we need salespeople and business development people. Okay. Anybody who feels they can do that, if you have a track record, if you have a book of business, if you have connections, if you have fire, okay, and the brain, please contact me. You can reach out to me directly, Reggie@Veritasium.com. Looking to expand, looking to hire, we're spending money much faster now than we've ever had. Hey Reggie, do you plan? Yes, I do. I answered that one. That came from Random Mexican. Where can we buy the very merchandise? Contact eleanor.reid at Veritasium.com. You can always just go to the team page on the website. When we have the time, we'll put a shopping cart out so anybody who's interested can actually buy it directly. Very equals research plus automated asset selection. Very equals research plus automated asset exposure. That's what it is, okay? Hey Reggie, hiring salesmen in the US, how to apply? I just said that. Hire me. Email me. I'm tired. Email me, cc eleanor.reid. Reggie at Veritasium, eleanor.reid at Veritasium. Bebek Obedience says, Reggie, go my man, I have faith in you. Thank you very much. How do subtokens be distributed? It all depends on the purpose of the subtokens. Each subtoken comes with a business plan. So it's not a widget that we have on the shelf to take out and just sell. It all depends on the goals and objectives, the regulations and jurisdiction that we're in, etc. What's the minimum I have to use in order to start exposure on VeADIR? I think it's like $70 worth now. It fluctuates depending on market prices and conditions, but I think it's about $70 worth now. Panama Worldwide Investments. Hey Reggie, the Minister of Security in Bermuda, is very crypto-friendly and working hard to implement government programs. Are you working with any Bermuda-based businesses? I am not, but I am more than willing to. So if you know anybody, make the connection, okay? I don't say no to good business, to reliable business. I know there's never a 100% chance that something will go through. Trust me, I've been in my fair share of failed deals. But as long as it looks like it will go through, talk to me. I'm very approachable. Translating worlds, curious as to the functionality features of the individual Android and iOS apps. Yes, so let me comment on that. It appears as if I don't have a phone on me except for the one I'm using to do this, so I'll have to walk you through it. It appears as if there's some confusion. When I say that the VeADIR runs on Android and iOS, it runs on operating systems. We haven't made actual apps. Open up the Chrome browser, okay? Load the VeADIR on the Chrome browser. You'll see it loads perfectly, right? Fully responsive, okay? But it loads in spectator mode. To actually interact with the browser, you need a wallet, okay? The wallet that's used on the desktop, which is MetaMask, doesn't have a mobile version, but you can still interact with it. Slightly clunky, but you can still interact with it. Go to either the App Store on iOS or the Play Store on Android and download the Trust Wallet, okay? The Trust Wallet has its own browser, has its own wallet, and that wallet is able to interact with the apps, and it has a browser, and that browser is of course the native browser for the OS. On iOS, that would be mobile Safari, and on Android, that would be the mobile Android browser, which I think you can even swap out for Chrome, okay? But the mobile Android browser is, not that sweet, but it's functional. Chrome, of course, is the best browser, in my opinion, available on mobile and any platform. But, enough talking about mobile tech. You download the Trust Wallet, right? Open it up, go to mobile, go to browser, and then paste the VeADIR link into that browser and open. Now, the VeADIR is a complex piece of kit, okay? So, on a fast internet connection, give it some time to load. The first time around, it's going to take a couple of minutes, just letting you know. Once it loads, full functionality is now available right in your handheld, okay? There is some formatting issues because of that browser that's being forced in, but relatively minor formatting issues, and the team told me they have it cleaned up in a week or two. So, but it works, which is the important part. Sweetness, Rasta Dial, very much love, very much everything, thank you. Is that, hey Reggie, what are you doing? What do you think about Gatcoin? Don't have much opinion on Gatcoin right now. Ben Smaller says real estate deal with Kevin Leary. No, don't know Kevin Leary at all. Yes, come to Zug. I love to. I remember Zug and forgot the name of the valley. They are in New York pretty often, and they have approached me. So if you're listening, guys, let's talk. We're gonna have a Veritasium, fully functional Veritasium facility running in the EMU area, or the EZ area, and also in Africa. And I'm also looking to do something in Asia as well. Asia is not quite as regulatory friendly as the EU nations and the African nations, to my knowledge. If I am wrong, then simply let me know that anybody in Asia, in the government, the regulatory bodies interested in having me come through, we can. We're a very credible organization. We have a very strong product. I'm ready to go. Let's see, Martin Henry is coming through. Don't know what you're laughing at. Oh, so you heard Andrew laughing in the background through the window. Okay. Yes, they heard you laughing. Andrew's leaving, he's working late. What time is it? So that's good. Andrew's a dedicated man.
We'll talk later?
Yes. Okay. I have all faith in yourself and the very things that come. Thanks from the UK, but thank you for falling off the aisle. Cliff High says you will benefit more from government than anything else. I hope I hope he's right that we benefit from government. I don't know about more than anything else because I like to benefit from everything. But the more the merrier. What are your thoughts about doing business with Gov? Please do. I want to do business with everybody, or everybody who's credible. Rob B says, I just bought my first Veri. Congratulations, my man. Welcome to the club. What token is in your next report? Well, we have several in the pipeline, so it all depends on which comes out first and to completion. We're not a publishing house. We don't have a deadline. Basically, the reports are done when they're done. I don't want to sound like a jerk about it, but that's the way it works because it takes a lot of work, a lot of different lines of expertise. And then when I go over it, or someone else goes over it, I go over the final edits. If I find something that needs to be added, deleted, or changed, then that needs to happen. And oftentimes, all the stuff in the report upon my review tends to create a branch. And so it's branched out in 2 or more other directions. So, it's cut and dry as writing, on a piece of paper or typing a report and hitting print. Any thoughts on GatCoin? I told you I don't follow GatCoin enough to have a public recommendation on it, at least one that's not paid. But it did come up in the short list, but that's all I can say. Cosmic Gunshot says, hit the like button and share. That's right. Cosmic Gunshot, thank you. The top 10, they will all come to the beta soon. That's Tom D. How is progress on the smart city deal and what would Veritasium have to offer? I don't want to discuss that right now, but it's in there. Okay, it definitely hasn't went anywhere as of yet. So all lights are go. We're constrained with resources. That's why I made sure this weekend I got the last remaining bits of the other African deals out, so I can focus on the more complex deals, such as the smart city deal. Cultural media regularly went knocking on this. Okay, Reggie, can you please explain the divisions of very small contracts? I don't understand what you mean by the divisions of very small contracts, so you have to clarify your question. And I am going to have to wind down soon, simply because I'm tired and it's getting late. But I definitely do love to these AMAs. And if you want to hit me in person, come through. If you're in the New York area or plan to come to the New York area between Monday and Wednesday, come see me. I know a lot of you are going to be at the consensus event. I'll be there. The team will be there. And a lot of you also, if you haven't paid for consensus, you're still quite open to hang out with the Veritasium team. We have a very large suite there. I will periodically be in that suite and sit down and talk with everybody. Okay? I have lots of fine wine, a little down Perignon champagne. Okay? Some Glenlivet for those guys who do that stuff, Glenlivet and Glenfiddich. We sit down, break bread together. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to bid you adieu. On my leaving, again, if you haven't already, everybody hit the like button and hit the share button as well. Please, the share button is very important. Okay, and subscribe. And everybody, please go to the Veritasium blog, veritasium.com. Click the menu to hit VE blog, and that last article, the most recent article, is a description of what we'll be doing on in the consensus time, space, and suite. We'll actually be giving classes as well. If enough people show up, I will have a big screen with the VeADIR running, and anybody who comes by can trade the VeADIR without access to VeADIR and use the VeADIR without capital. I'll have a few copies of written research. You can carry it around with you throughout the event, read it, show it off. There's nobody anywhere who comes close to our stuff, okay? And we can discuss our roadmap in person. You sit down, you can chew my ear off, for a while at least. Okay, so on that note, my friends, au revoir. Messiah's arbitrage robot is coming along, okay? With this volatility and downward motion and pressure, you get a perfect opportunity to see how it works in all directions. Okay, so I've got to go. I'll try and do an AMA No, tomorrow's Mother's Day. Maybe you're not due to Mother's Day, but I'll definitely be online Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, from the Hyatt Midtown and at Consensus. Okay, goodbye, y'all.